All right, so now that we know how to use the summary pages and how to read the other summary pages at least, so the daily and 4-hour weekly and so on, we're going to look at the MTF pages, which stands for multi-time frame summary page. We have already discussed a little bit how this works, but in this tutorial I'm going to show you in detail how this page works. And to do that, we're going to recap a little bit of what you saw in the last tutorial. Is the main way we use to determine high probability directions. So the lower this percentage and the higher this percentage, the more likely price is to continue into this direction right here, right? We are using this logic to create biases. There are a couple of kind of biases. There's undecided, there's bull, there's strong bull, there's exhausted bull, and then there's bear, strong bear, and exhausted bear, which we do not have right now. But those are basically it. So you have undecided, exhausted bull or bear, and strong bull and strong bear, right? Strong bull or strong bear. So the way we use this, you already have a little bit of a text here that can lead you to it. But we use these two metrics, or well, these three, but let's say these two for the strength and this one for the direction, as we will see. But we will use these two metrics to determine what it is. Now, we see here that P1s with bigger distance smaller than X%. These are threshold settings that we use to determine this. And then we have here the same threshold setting for candles with big distance bigger than X%. And then we have here on the left, you have the threshold for strong bull or bear. And on the right, we have bull or bear threshold. Now we're going to dive into this with examples on how exactly that works. And the way we're going to do that is look at each bias to begin with. So I already told you we have strong bull bear, bull, undecided, and exhausted bull bear. We're gonna start with strong bull. So what strong bull or strong bear? How do we get this? How do we get strong bull or strong bear? What strong bull or strong bear means is that, so I want to emphasize that these settings will depend on your personal preference. I will at the end give you the settings I would like. Well, these are the settings I would like to use, but we'll review them later. But strong bull bear will be depending on what you consider strong bull or bear signals. But we'll get to that later. It will make more sense as we discuss how exactly this works. So you have seen that we have applied here this logic of saying, well, the lower this is and the higher this is, the stronger the direction. What you're basically doing here in strong bull bear is saying, okay, how low would I consider like a very high probability of P1 holding? So how low does this have to be? And how high does this have to be that I consider a high probability of P2 being taken out? Because this is this statistic right here. So for example, here I say, well, if it's lower than 20%, right? So if this value is lower than 20%, I consider that very strong bull bear, depending on the direction. And if this is higher than 65%, so if this metric is higher than 65%, I consider that very strong bull bear as well. What strong bull bear is when the value of, so for the time frame and the asset, so each time frame is evaluated separately. But say for example, we have strong bull. That means that both this threshold and this threshold, both these thresholds are met. So the P1 with bigger distance is smaller than 20%, and candles with bigger distance is bigger than 65%. And then it's strong bull because P1, P2 direction. So this one right here is bullish. And we'll see that more in this example I have right here. So we're gonna look at an example I laid out with compound USDT, where we can see undecided bull, strong bull, and exhausted bull. So it's a nice one to go over the different time frames. And I had these settings right here where we have 20 and 60. I wouldn't normally use this, but I'm just using these for exemplary purposes. So don't pay too much attention to the values itself. But let's dive into this, right? Let's dive into an example. So right here we have 8-hour strong bull. Once again, we know that that must mean that the 8-hour, this value here from P1's big distance must be smaller than 20%, and this one must be bigger than 60%. So the candles with bigger distance. If we look into that, this is exactly what we can see. So we're looking at the 8-hour right here. We can see that P1s with bigger distance, and this was at the time the values, See, this is lower than the strong bull bear threshold of 20%. So this one is being met. And this value right here, the candles with more distance, is higher than the strong bull bear threshold of 60%. This is also being met. And the reason it's strong bull instead of strong bear is because the P1 to P2 direction is bullish. So that's very simply when something is strong bull. So you just decide for yourself what you consider a very good threshold. So in this case, we use 60. I usually use a little bit more. But in this case, for hypothetical purposes, you say, well, we consider strong 60 and this in this case 20. And if both of those are met, that's a strong bull signal, right? So this, I think it makes more sense now that basically what you're doing is you're mapping this process into a more intuitive to understand format, right? So you don't have to go through all the numbers all the time. I still recommend doing that because it will give you more insights on what's actually happening, but this is more of an overview on how to do it. So that's strong bull bear. Now let's go on the next one, bull bear. So we have current day is bullish. Now what this means is that you need to have either of the following scenarios. Both of these right here must be met. Let me go back to another. So both of these here must be met, the one on the right. So this is the strong bull bear thresholds, and these are your normal bull bear thresholds, right? So that we say if we meet these, then at least it's bullish. Both of these must be met on the right, and at least one of these must not be met. That is the trick here. So the value of percent P1s with bigger distance right here, it's either of the following three. The value of P1s with bigger distance is between 20 and 30%, and the values with bigger distance is in between 50 and 60%. So the value is in between here and in between here. Or this value is below the strong bull bear threshold of 20%, but this value is in between 60 and 50%, or the other way around where this value is above this threshold of 60%, but below or in between 20 and 30%, right? So very simply put, both these must be true and at least one of these must be false. We'll see that better in this right here. So we have bull because the percent P1s with bigger distance is lower than the strong bull bear threshold of 20%, right? We can see this one is being met, but the percent days with more distance is lower than the strong bull bear threshold of 60%, right? You can see that this one is not being met. This one is not being met, but this threshold is being met because it is higher than 50%. It is higher than 50%. So this is one of the scenarios we just discussed where this strong bull bear is being met, but this one is not. So we have a very high probability of holding P1, but we don't have that much of a high probability according to our threshold. So not a very high probability, still an edge. That's why it's bull, right? But no longer a really big edge, and therefore it is simply bull rather than strong bull. And obviously the direction is once again bullish, which is why this is bull. Now, then the next one is exhausted bull bear, which is here on the 4 hour. And that's simply when the value of percent P1s with bigger distance is below this threshold, but the value of candles with bigger distance is below this threshold. And I'll show you that in this example because it will become immediately clear. So here it's 0.7%, so way below the strong bull bear threshold. But the candles with more distance, it's 29.8%, which is below the 50% threshold we have set. And we have said, well, this for us, and normally, again, I would have this a little bit higher, but we said, well, this is for us a good point, or 50% in our hypothetical situation is where we say, well, we still have a little bit of an edge, but after 50%, the edge diminishes. So therefore, the move is becoming more exhausted because the further you go below this, the less likely it is to go further, right? Because the move is becoming more and more exhausted. And that's why this relates to exhausted bull, right? That is the exhausted bull mark. So simply put, this one is probably always being met or is always being met, but the candles with more distance is no longer very much in our favor for further displacement. So that means that P1 is safe, but there is also not much more room to go to take out P2 again. And that's why this is exhausted bull. And finally, we have undecided. Undecided simply means that this threshold is not being met. Both of these are not being met. So in this case, you see P1s with bigger distance is 51.4%, which is higher than our bull bear threshold of 30%. Therefore, we cannot confidently say that P1 is going to hold. Therefore, we do not know a clear direction yet. Could go both ways, right? The market has not shown its hand yet. And therefore we say undecided, because there's no strong direction or typical direction or statistically likely direction, I must say, for this asset. So that's how the biases are formed. And again, we just have bull and strong bull and exhausted bull here. But if this P1, P2 direction would be bearish, then we had strong bear, exhausted bear, and bear. So don't worry about that. And finally, if I have to give guidelines on what you would apply the filters on, well, this just must be a value which you consider to represent a very low chance of taking out P1. This must be a moderately low chance of taking out, this must be a moderately low percent chance of taking out P1. This must be for you what you think a very high chance of further displacement, and this is a moderate chance. And I would personally have it like this: 20% for strong bull bear, 65% for 65 or 70, depending on how conservative you want to be. And then this one 30, and then 55 or 60. That's what I would go for. But again, it depends on what you want. And another thing where it's really good for is for determining general market direction. So for example, right now you can immediately see there's a lot of green, right? There's a lot of green going on. And when you see a predominant bias in this page, that usually indicates a very good probability of going in that direction. So now we see a lot of green going on, and that for me tells us that there's a high probability that we're going to go further up in this current 8-hour candle, and therefore, you know, it's good to look for longs in that 8-hour candle. But the main thing is I want to say is that it doesn't matter which time frame you have. If you see this happening, where you see just a lot of like strong bull or strong bear signs, that usually is a very good indicator that the market does want to go there, because then there's confirmation across the board. So if I see this, then I would be very cautious with shorts, at least in the short term, right? And now we have strong bull here, we have strong bull here on a lot of the weeks. So you want to be careful with shorts. So this is something I also go to at the start of the day to just get a general sense of direction. And then it's also somewhere I go to after analyzing these summary pages. As I mentioned in the last video, when I want to see, for example, I want to take a short, but I want to see what the lower time frames are doing. So say, for example, I've identified those as a short on the day, but I see this, that for me is a sign to stay out, right? Then I'm going to say, okay, then if the lower time frames are that bullish, apparently, I don't want to enter yet. Another good thing to do is what you can do also on filters as a final closing note. You can press here, right? Get the filtering up. And then what you can say is current day is not, for example, undecided. Apply the filter. And what it will leave you is all just the biases for the current day that have a bias, right? So these are just all the biases that are present for the day. So you filter out everything that is undecided, and you can do the same. Right now I wouldn't do it for so you can do the same for the week. Undecided, then you will see just which assets have a bias and what that bias is. And now it becomes pretty clear that it looks like we must go up for the week for now. And that concludes the summary page tutorials. So thank you very much for watching. You have now you now possess pretty much all the knowledge you need to get started with the dashboard. I would recommend looking maybe at some of the trade breakdowns where I show more of how it's actually used in practice, like all this data. And then also obviously the live streams. I think I've listed the live stream as well in the tutorial section in the Discord. But maybe by the time you watch this recording, it's gone. In that case, you know, it's always good to watch the latest live streams, because in the latest live streams, we're always using the latest version of the dashboard, and we're always using it to find setups. So that will really show you more how everything is put into practice, right? Now we have a lot of the theory, obviously you had examples, but now it's also good to see some of that put into practice. So for that, definitely check out the latest live streams. You can find them in the Discord, they're all listed there. And with that said, I thank you very much for getting all the way here in the tutorial series. And maybe by the time you're watching this, there's already a new part of the dashboard. I am developing further features. So if that's the case, enjoy watching the next part. If that's not the case, then thank you for watching these tutorials. Hope it makes sense. If you have any questions, drop them in the Discord and we'll be happy to answer those questions. So thanks a lot, and I hope it's clear, and I'll catch you in the Discord.